for Chuck Crosby. Chuck, Russell listens to our show all the time, and in this email, he says he moved here from New York year before last. He's planning on buying a home. He's heard us talk about disclosing problems with homes when you go to sell. Russell says he's followed the case of, and I don't know if you're familiar with this, Helen Ackley in Nyack, New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The Ghostbuster case.
Yes. So Helen owned a Victorian home, publicly claimed that it was haunted, but when she sold the home to Jeffrey Stambosky, she failed to disclose her claims that the house was haunted. Ended up in court, and the court rescinded the sale, and Jeffrey got all of his money back, including, I believe, the deposit. Russell is wondering, are there any safeguards in place here in the Louisville area and surrounding areas that would protect him and other buyers from purchasing a home that may be haunted? Chuck.
The case is frequently overblown in its controlling form. The fact is that what you have, Kentucky courts are courts of equity, not of law. I assume it's similar up in New York, where the law says A, B, and C, which is you don't disclose for ghosts. Ghosts can't be proven, et cetera, et cetera. But in this particular case, the lady had said, "Oh, hey, it's super haunted," tried to sell it under that, and then didn't. And then these people came in and bought it, and then found out about it and were bothered. There's a lot of questions as to what they were bothered about. But so in equity, the first course, the trial court said, no, you don't have to disclose for ghosts. That's the general rule because you can't prove there's ghosts. But the appeals court came back and started looking at it from a more equitable area. If you don't have the law, you argue equity. And in this case, they argued equity and said, well, yeah, it's just not fair. The house has a bad reputation, and she didn't say anything about it in this case, so they set it aside. There's a whole lot of other stuff going on in the background that was used for the argument in equity. So it's not a controlling case down here. I don't even think it's a controlling case in New York.
So what I hear you saying, Chuck, and by the way, Chuck's on the road in case you can't tell this Sunday morning, so he's got a little echo going on here. What you hear you saying is that locally we don't use that as a standard.
No.
Okay. And there is no requirement for disclosing if you think your home is haunted.
Right.
I know a lot of people are thinking this is made up and this is crazy that anybody would even think that a home is haunted, but there are a lot of people.
Well, there are. I actually one time had a closing set up where the home inspector said that there were ghosts in the attic and killed the deal.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
Well, and then, you think about our friends down at the Louisville Bourbon Inn, Jeff and Alan. I mean, they have Annie, in on the property with them all the time. Yeah. So now she's left me alone when I've gone into to work with them there, but she doesn't like the puzzles in the community room. I'll tell you that. She's moving around all the time.
Annie is the ghost.
Annie's the ghost. Yeah.
So. And I've been to a bunch of haunted houses and a bunch of haunted places. And I will put myself in a position to where if there's anything, something should happen. Nothing's ever happened, which of course goes to prove that even the dead don't want to be around attorneys.
Wait, are you saying you are a real life Louisville Ghostbuster? Is that, or
I wouldn't say Ghostbuster, but I'm fascinated by the topic. I don't know that I believe in ghosts, but for 10,000 years of recorded human history, every culture everywhere has ghost stories. So, like a realtor will tell me, hey, this particular house at this particular time, usually midnight thereafter, something occurs on this one spot. Well, I will ask them, do you mind if I go and sit in that one spot at this time? So I've done that several times. I've been to a variety of haunted places that claim to be. And by variety, we're getting upwards of 20 of them or so. So it's just something I enjoy.
I don't want to travel with Chuck.
Yeah, you don't. The last time I went to Vegas, there's a place where they've got this little basement where supposedly a murder took place, and when they found it, it had a pentagram on the floor, and you go into places like that.
All right.
to see what's going on.
We move on. A reminder, you can see, not only hear, but see a rebroadcast of today's show by going to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. And for a view of what we think are really good reviews of our team, myself and our team, go to LouisvilleGoogle.com or LouisvilleZillow.com.